And tonight I decided to do a video. But before I do that video, you have to promise me a few things. And they include one, we are not gonna ever talk about the fact that you can see that I am growing out my bangs. We're never gonna talk about the fact that you can see this clutter in my kitchen. We are never gonna discuss the leftover remains of some school projects and some Christmas stuff up here. We're just gonna pretend like those things don't exist. And whatever noises you might hear from my kids, we're just gonna pretend like those things don't exist. Like that. Okay. Now, the entire purpose of this video is to show how I have been taught to put on a shirt. And I'm doing that because I've received emails over the months asking how I do certain things, and I actually had a question from my mother who had surgery, and she is not one armed by handicap, but she had a surgery and it required her to use one hand recently. And it was very difficult for her to put a shirt on. So, I realized it was one of those things that sometimes people have to do and they're not in this situation. So, basically, to make my dad really, really proud, I am gonna spend this time on the internet showing you how to put clothes on. So, I have brought a shirt and I will basically put it on my lap so it faces opposite me. And so what I do is I put my arm inside the sleeve and inside the body. Okay? So I can grab my weak hand and pull it through the sleeve. Now, you always start with your weak hand and get it through the sleeve. And the occupational therapist will always tell you start with your weak hand. Because I guess your other hand can move as needed. So then I will generally, you have to make sure it goes above the bend of your arm on your weak side, because once you do that, you can just put your arm in the other side, put your head through the hole, and as long as it's above your elbow, putting your head through the hole will then put your shirt on, kind of like a redneck, but that's how a shirt goes on. That's basically how, and then I'll pull everything down, get everything straightened out. Just like that. And so, well, you saw me grab myself there, that was fun. So, that was how you basically put a shirt on with one hand. It gets a little more difficult in wintertime because the sleeves are longer, and again, you know that I don't wear anything that involves buttons or anything with ties that have to be done with two hands. I wear a lot of things that are stretchy and work well with just going over the head. Just because they're easier, but that's how it's done. Probably simpler than you thought. But always start with the non-dominant arm, and that's all you gotta know. And there, Dad would be so proud of me because after all this time, I got a video on the internet of putting my clothes on. Good night.